Gold is on track for its worst quarterly performance since at least 1979. Who better to ask about the impact that the gold's drop is having on buyers and sellers than Rick Harrison? He is the co-owner of the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in Las Vegas, star of the History Channel's top-rated show, Pawn Stars, and he joins us this morning from Las Vegas. Rick, it is great to have you back. Welcome.
Well, thanks for having me.
We've been talking about this metal for, it seems like, every day for the past few weeks. Are you noticing, is business different where you are because of what's going on?
I retail a lot of gold and silver, and I'm having a real difficult time right now getting physical metal. It's the crazy world about gold and silver. Sometimes, the paper market it's going down, but you can't actually find no actual physical items. I think that it's still a good thing to have around.
Yeah, we hear that a lot, that there's a difference between those who are in the GLD or big institutions and those who actually buy the physical stuff. Why do you think you're having such a hard time finding it?
There's just a shortage of the physical metal out there. The mints, the private mints and government mints, they're just behind. There's a lot of demand for the physical out there, and the physical side is really having a hard time catching up. That's basically the problem right now.
How much has changed regarding the amount you're willing to pay for physical gold?
I still pay right around spot. I don't think it's going to go much lower because right now the spot price of gold and silver is below production cost. It's a commodity. They fly up and down. I believe that people who invest in it, don't put a lot of money into it and regard it as an insurance policy. Governments have a tendency to screw up currencies. So,
Rick, I suppose the trouble is that it hasn't acted like much of an insurance policy lately. So people who thought they were protecting themselves, diversifying by buying gold and silver, and you're one of them, correct, in terms of kind of holding it as an asset.
Yeah,
now we're looking at it and going, actually, I couldn't afford this kind of insurance at all.
Well, remember, it's an insurance policy. Hopefully, you don't need to cash it in right away. And if you look back, a lot of people compare the price of gold and silver from 1980 to today. But you didn't do as well as the market. But if you actually look back to 1971, when you could actually legally own gold, you've done better than the Dow Jones. And like I said, it's a long-term investment. Luckily, we live in the United States where our government hasn't completely screwed up the currency like most other countries in the world. And so it is a good insurance policy. But remember, there's a lot of, it's like I said, it's a good insurance policy. The government can screw up the currency.
Yeah, Rick, anybody who watches the show knows, you know a thing or two, not just about your business, but the way the global economy works. When you're at a bar with your buddies and you are talking about the Fed, what kind of report card do you give them at this point?
Well, yeah, it's sort of difficult. Basically you have the government regulating and making business more difficult, and you have the Fed trying to compensate for it. It can't go on forever that way. I have a problem when we have 7% of GDP is based off borrowed and printed money. Eventually, we have to make a good business environment in this country, so that we can start tapering. Because if we keep on printing forever, things will get bad. It's a matter of math.
People, they do look back at the 1930s, Rick, and there was, early withdrawal of policy can be dangerous.
Oh yeah, I do not believe that. I think we should slowly taper, but the Fed's not going to be able to taper unless we have some sort of less regulations and make it easier for business to actually do business, and then we can start tapering. But if you make it difficult to do business, there's not going to be any business, and how are they going to taper?
Rick, just a quick question as well, because pawn shops are often such a good gauge for the health of the consumer. What kind of traffic are you seeing in your shop, and can you talk about it relative to, say, the depths of the recession? Do consumers seem to be in a better spot, or are they still really under pressure?
I have a different pawn shop than most. I average 4,000 customers a day, and most of those are tourists. They come in there and they buy bobbleheads of me for some reason. And the economy does seem to be getting a little bit better. But The pawn business is sort of weird. Most people don't realize this thing. A lot of people think we do really well in a bad economy. We don't. When people are bringing in items to sell, you have a bad economy, there's no buyers. And then the other problem with my business is when the economy is really good, I have a lot of buyers and I don't have a lot of sellers. So that's one good thing about the pawn.
Yeah, Rick,
we're right around in the middle right now. I have a nice little balance at the moment. The Las Vegas economy does seem to be doing a lot better. I'm afraid our real estate might be getting in a little bubble here in Las Vegas. It's gone up over 20% in the past year.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's just fascinating to get your perspective on the ground here. So any changes to your personal portfolio then when it comes to gold, silver, anything else out there?
No, I'm actually considering selling a little bit, taking a capital loss and buying it back in a month. I think a lot of people should do that. It's, you'll save a little money on your capital gains.
Not a bad point. Rick Harrison, we want to thank you again for joining us. Again, he is the star of Pawn Stars on History Channel.